Most miraculous rescue case I've had was Kiki, which was a kitten I rescued. She had a fungal infection basically. She didn't have any hair on her body. I just saw her going through dustbins looking for food, and that's when I picked her up. I picked her up and I brought her home. I tried to treat her. I took her to different vets, and even the vets over here, they're not qualified to give the right diagnosis. So I consulted with 2 vets actually in the very beginning, and they were all good vets. And once I showed them Kiki, they told me that it was scabies. But then they prescribed scabion lotion, other lotions for scabies, which I started applying, but they weren't effective. No hair was growing back out. So then I contacted my mentor, my guide, my friend, Dr. Honey, who is also the founder of Strays Home Foundation. And he helped me a lot with that case, actually. He's a holistic vet. He provided me with the right medication, and he told me it was a fungal infection, not a scabies infection. And that happened, and it took about, I think, 2 months to bring Kiki to a stable stage where she could, fend for it herself, and consistent efforts, daily cream applying, daily care, and I had to make sure that she was getting enough love, because for an animal to recover, it's very important to make sure that they feel safe, that they feel loved. And then after 2 months, I trained her in such a way that I wanted to make her independent enough to fend for herself, because you cannot depend on a dog because they're not always the most reliable option. So I tried to make her independent enough on her own to fend for herself, which I succeeded at, thankfully. After which I just let her go. She still visits me, by the way, from time to time. And the recovery from having no hair to having, a full body full of white hair, it was just amazing to see. When you have more animal interaction, you can easily develop more empathy towards them, because they're right in front of you. You get to communicate with them, you get to understand them, you get to see their reactions to your actions. I think that the area that requires the most attention is awareness, because whenever you rescue an animal, the hardest part is to get the animal adopted because of breed bias, because people don't want it. It just burdens one person. Everybody expects a shelter to do everything, all the work, but they're not willing to do any of it themselves. I rescued many animals even many years ago, and at a time I needed funds and I didn't have any, and I was still rescuing animals. Pakistani streets are, you can't leave your house without coming across a cruelty. So that encouraged me to form an organization that goes by the name Doing My Bit.